Now, class 9 history, the Gupta age. I am continuing with the Gupta age. Now, the ministers and the other imperial officers. Today, I will start with the ministers and the other imperial officers. It belonged to Gupta administration. Several ministers assisted the king in the task of administration. In the administration, several ministers assisted the king. The mantri stood at the head of civil administration. Other important officials included Senapati, the chief of the palace guards, and the Shandavigriha, that is the minister of the foreign affairs, provincial administration, and the district and municipal administration. Provincial administration, all of you look at the book. The empire was divided into several provinces called bhuktis or desas. The provincial governors were usually the prince or royal blood. As governors, they were called Uparika Maharaja or Pradashikas. All of you look at the book, underline this. Uparika Maharaja or Pradashikas, underline. Now, district administration. Bhukti was divided into districts called Vishyas, which were ruled by the Vishakapatas or the Aruktas. They were usually appointed by the provincial governor. Many other persons had position of authority in the district administration. They were Prathamkaya, who wrote letters and documents. Then Pushapattal, the keeper of records, and the Nagar Sreshti, that is the chief banker. Nagar Sreshti, the chief banker. Underline Prathamkaya, who wrote letters and documents. Then Pushapattal, the keeper of records, and the Nagar Sreshti, that is the chief banker. Municipal administration. From a few inscriptions we learn about the town administration. Also, some towns were administered by the municipal board, which consisted 4 members. They were called Nagasreshti, the Sartavaya, and the Prathamkasta. A few seals recovered from ancient Vaishali in North Bihar indicate that the municipal board was functioning there with the help of representatives of the guilds of merchants, artisans, and others. These guilds looked after the affairs of their members as well as the welfare of the towns. Then local or village administration. All of you, my students, look at the book. Each village was under a village headman known as the Gramika. Each village was under a village headman known as the Gramika. His duty was to enforce the law and to keep the peace. He was assisted by a village council comprising the leading local elements. No land transactions could be effected without their consent, and this may have been true of other important affairs as well. Gramika. Each village was under a village headman known as Gramika. Administration of law and justice. The Gupta period produced a vast legal literature. The lawgivers made a clear distinction between civil and criminal matters. Theft and assault on a person came under criminal law. Disputes regarding property came under civil law. Now then B72. Feudal developments is observed in everywhere. Transfer of power by central government to local bodies. Contribution to the progress of literature. Now all of you look, contributions of the progress of literature and education. The Gupta age has been called the golden age of Sanskrit literature. Very important, all of you. The Gupta age has been called the golden age of Sanskrit literature because of the outstanding quality of its classical literary works, epics, drama, lyrics, and prose, besides works on philosophy and various and various other works. Now, works of Kalidasa. Kalidas, we know, the famous poet. Kalidas, Abhigyan Shakuntalam, popularly known as Shakuntala, is regarded as one of the best literary production of the world. Malavik and Mitra and Vikramavashya are two other excellent dramas written by him. His literary skill was displayed in two epics, Raghuvansha and Kumara Sambhava, and the lyric poetry of Ritu Sambhara and Meghduta. These are the works of Kalidas. Vivid portrayal of characters, refined languages, and appreciation of the beauty of nature made the literary works valuable gems of Sanskrit literature. Then other literary texts. Vishaka Datta wrote the well-known political drama Mudra Rakshasa, in which he described the political revolution that led to the fall of Nanda dynasty and the establishment of Mauryan Empire. Harisena was the author of the famous poem Prashasti, inscribed on the Allahabad pillar. It gives a detailed account of the career and personality of Samudragupta. Then come the famous universities. Nalanda University. It was the most famous of the educational institutions of ancient India. Situated near Rajagraha in Bihar, it was founded during the reign of Kumaragupta in the middle of the 5th century AD. It developed into a famous center of learning under the patronage of the Gupta rulers and of the Harshavardhana. The important features. Admission to the university was restricted by a difficult entrance exam, and only 2 or 3 out of 10 succeeded in getting admission. So admission to the universities are very restricted. The students were provided with free boarding and lodging. Sanskrit was used as the medium of instruction. Buddhist and Brahmanical literature, logic, grammar, medicine, astronomy, philosophy, tantra and art were the important subjects included in the curriculum. The university became so famous that it attracted students from all over India and from neighboring countries as well. Yuan-sang, the Chinese pilgrim, studied here for about 5 years. This great center of learning flourished till the end of the 12th century AD, when it was destroyed by Muhammad bin Bakhtiyar Khilji, one of the generals of Muhammad Ghori. The ruins of the Nalanda University testify to its grandeur as recorded by Yuan-sang. That is, it was full of pomp and grandeur, Nalanda University. Scholars all over the world came here to take the teaching, studies. Very important and famous university. Then students come to the point, the Gupta sculptures. The Greek influence on Indian art had completely disappeared during Gupta period. The Greek influence on Indian art completely disappeared during the Gupta period. The sculptures adopted a style that was totally Indian in character. A very large number of images of Buddha, Bodhisattvas, Vishnu, Shiva and other Brahmanical god and goddesses made of stone and bronze have been discovered in Sarnath and Mathura. Among the images of Buddha discovered at Sarnath near Varanasi, the most outstanding is the image of seated Buddha. Buddha is seated. It is popularly known as Buddha is preaching, who is delivering his first teaching after attaining his bodhisattva, and his disciples are listening to his with folded hands. Buddha is seated in yogic meditation. The image is calm and quiet, showing the young face with half-closed eyes and calm smile. The statue was made with sandstones. Now, golden age of Indian culture. The Gupta age is known as the golden age of Indian culture. Now, during Gupta era, India reached the highest peak of civilization and culture. During Gupta era, India reached the highest peak of civilization and culture. During the mighty Gupta rulers, Samudragupta and Chandragupta II established political unity and economic prosperity to the nation. In the fields of literature, arts and science, the Brahmanical religion and culture had reached the zenith of its glory. Thus, the Gupta age is known as the golden age in Indian history. During Gupta era, India reached the highest peak of civilization and culture. During the mighty Gupta rulers Samudragupta and Chandragupta II established political unity and economic prosperity to the nation. In the fields of literature, arts and science, the Brahmanical religion and culture had reached the zenith of its glory. Thus, the Gupta age is known as the golden age in Indian history. My students, today the end of this chapter. Next day, I will give you few question answers. Okay. Now, any important things I will discuss. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.